Now we've got Mario Andretti, we've got Davey Hamilton, we have Martin Plowman, we have Sarah Fisher, we have Johnny Rutherford, we have Al Unser Jr. Am I leaving anybody out?
And you, Jack.
All out there, seriously. We also have the two-seater, Larry Ford, you're right. Larry's coming, we have the two-seater. I'm lobbying very, very hard now. We have not had this confirmed, but we've been lobbying hard to actually spend a little time on a carrier. And I've been saying, I'll get off if they'll put the two-seater in my seat and put that on. Wouldn't you love to see that two-seater fire up on a carrier somewhere? And I had a dream about it. And I said, and they said, you know, though, we don't know, without the catapult, it's awfully short, and it may fall off into the ocean. And I said, that's okay, as long as Robin Miller's in the back seat. I vote. All those in favor? Aye! The ayes have it. Contrary to what you read in Speed TV. Thank you.
In your opinion as a broadcaster, you've been with this series and prior to the Indy Racing League, now the IndyCar series. In your opinion, what's happening now since the arrival of Randy Bernard, can you imagine where we are, and do you think it's heading in the right direction, full speed ahead?
I couldn't have imagined it. It's what I dreamed and prayed and hoped for. Is it moving full speed ahead? I think it's moving at lightning speed. Just some of the things that we've had unveiled this week. Double file restarts. All right, finally somebody wakes up and realizes, I could never understand it. We've got the world's greatest drivers, but we don't have trust in them being able to come down and start side by side. You know, I think Randy Bernard, here's my read on Randy. Randy listens to each and every one of you. All right, that's number one. Then number two, he listens to the car owners. Number three, he listens to the drivers. And he's a juggler in that regard because we all have separate agendas, we all have our needs, our wants, and our desires. But what he has successfully done as a business executive, as a sports executive, is give a little to each of those groups and get them to buy into the concept that it's not them against us, against you. It's we're all in this boat together, and if we don't start rowing in the same direction, forget about whether it's taking on water or not, we're going to go to the bottom of the ocean. And in 1 year, I think he has done more for the IndyCar series than all of his predecessors, all the way back to Bill Stokan, all the way back to championship, all the way to the current, you name it, has done. Opening an office to have initiatives in California. Some of the social media that he's taking by the horns. This guy gets it. Remember, he took, what, 15 cowboys, had them all put in $10,000, and now they're all multi-millionaires. It's now what we know as the Professional Bull Riders Association. So not only do I see NASCAR on the horizon, but it's kind of like that video game, you know, when it says you're 3 laps down, and you're 2 laps down, and then you're 1 lap down. All of a sudden, we're gaining, and we're gaining at a time when NASCAR's ratings are down, when its popularity is waning. Do you realize how many cars we're going to have for the Indianapolis 500?
33.
Why? That's how many are going to start. Wise ass. I'm going to go online right now. I'm going to predict that there'll be 50 legitimate cars in Gasoline Alley ready to go after it.
No way.
I just said I'm going to predict. I'll come back and you can throw stones at me. Okay? Because you know what happens? After the Indy 500, the only thing you can do with it is sell it for a show car.
I'm add what you said. Randy listens. The first time he was here was a month after he took office. He came out here, he did the program. Afterwards, he stood right there and talked for almost 2 hours. Anybody want to talk about anything? He didn't care. He stood and he listened. And as he said today, we heard what you said, and look what they've done. The fans go, that's what I was wondering.
Well, but what we all have to accept, though, too, is the fact that we can't go backwards. We can't go back to the old days. We can take a little bit of it, But those days, unfortunately, they don't exist anymore in today's environment. Those of us that got to enjoy it, we should treasure it. But what he can do is he can build upon part of that, add to it, increase. I remember my late father, all he ever talked about was, well, these rear-engine cars, they're not like the roadsters. I agree with him. Right? But, everything evolves. And I think Randy has got, I think the one I can't wait to see how he manages to pull it off. When he said he wants to see new speed records at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Maybe we can get Ari Landijk to give it a flyer. And then have AJ and Victory Lane to slap him.
Dill, my good friend, how are you?
Great. Awesome to be here.
Now, as I said, you are, at least at this moment, a minority owner of Panther Racing, but that's only gives you an excuse to go to the racetrack when you're in the country, which ain't all that often. Now, I said you've done some remarkable things and people go, holy smoke. Tell me some of the stuff, like you organized, if I'm not mistaken, was it the last torch run around the world for the Olympics, and I think you've done several before that. You're fixing to put one together for the next one.
Yeah, we,
Tell me what Ignition does.
Ignition, we're a global campaign management operation. But we've been blessed to do the last 37 years. I was a ski racer, a lacrosse player, field soccer, out of Lake Placid, New York. Grew up, I lived in Montana, Colorado, lots of places as growing up. But the good Lord gave us an opportunity to create a sport called experiential marketing, which is a human touch. And if you just take it from '96, we were the crazy guys that did that Olympic torch relay with the Rolling Street Party. I'm the guy in 2002 who remembers smoke carrying it out of the museum. Anybody see that? Raise your hand. Yeah, that guy right there, right? Yeah, smoke. Stuff like that. We've done 7 Olympic torch relays.
Those are around the world.
Well, most of them happen in country. There's been 2 went around the world. In Greece, we took it to 35 countries in 34 days on a 747. So we kind of laughed, Jack and I, when, gee, we're going down range and we're going to be up for 9 days. I'm like, that's it? You can sleep for 9 days. 3 hours a night sleep, right? We also do a thing, who's ever heard of the FIFA World Cup?
Oh, yeah.
It's the biggest trophy in the world. And we've taken that around the world now 3 times. We just finished up this past World Cup in South Africa, 85 countries, every country in Africa, and another 30. You put that trophy, you put it in perspective, in Rio, 400,000 people on the beach, right? So I always challenge it tonight. I don't know if this is taped, we'll see it. I tell Randy Bernard, the George family, and the rest of these knuckleasses, hey, give me the dang World Warner trophy. You want to do something with that? Let's get it out there. We can take the largest trophy in the world around the world and get people to get excited about it. Because the real world doesn't know about it. It really doesn't. It's here. It's a cool thing. I can go on and on for hours, the great stuff we do. We're all about making a positive difference in people's lives. Later you can hear about, I'm hoping to drag Miss Earnhardt over here, Teresa Earnhardt up here, to talk about track chic and bringing the women. It's funny if you look around this room, I think there's more women here than men. The most passionate race fans in the world are women. I've been blessed. I'm the guy. There you go, baby. I'm the guy that put Vodafone. Who remembers Mike when Vodafone sponsored Michael Schumacher? We won a couple championships. One gentleman was telling me how the sponsors didn't meet the driver. I met Mikey Schumacher. I know him. It's really in F1. It's not the driver. It's their greedy managers.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Say that louder.
Yes.
Yes. It's not the drivers. I've met Lewis Hamilton. We moved our sponsorship from Ferrari to Mercedes guy. What's his name?
You think I'm going to bail you out?
Yeah, that guy. And Lewis Hamilton is a gentleman, and young kid. So you meet these great people, you do this cool stuff, you get to go, you know, yeah, in 2000, and I'll give you a quick story, it's the truth. And I'd love to have this, you know, in perpetuity. So I get a call, I'm doing the Olympic torch relay in Italy. I'm outside of Rome, it's November, it's like Thanksgiving of 2005. I get a call from, who knows Bob Hills? Yeah, Bob Hills calls me up and says, hey Dill, Panther Racing's going out of business. We need you to come home for Christmas and talk to those guys and figure out how to help rescue that team. My wife is planning on coming to Italy. We're going to stay at a 5-star hotel with all the Coke executives, the biggest dang party you ever saw in your life. I called Susan and I said, hey Sunshine, I'm coming home. We're going to go talk to Bob Hills and meet this guy John Barnes, who I really didn't know. We came home, we got in that business, and who remembers the 2006 IndyCar season? Because it was the greatest season of all time. A team with no money called Panther Racing, a driver called Vitor Mira, with, let's hear it, get up! And we smoked their ass. We got more second places than anybody. We were on fire. And then all of a sudden, we got sponsorship. It's never been the same. But, you know, we are the team that has, it's true. You know, I will talk to anybody, bring them all in here right now. Let's get them in here. You know, when we start some controversy, I'll send some your love your way. But we're also the Buffalo Bills of racing. What team has gotten second in 3 Indy 500s in a row? We're the Buffalo dang Bills. They got 5 second places in the Super Bowl. Anyway, Don, love it. Glad to be here finally. Toss it out. Love to hear questions, whatever. We need to get Teresa up here and talk to you guys about Track Chic because it's really cool what she's doing.
I hate to break the news to you. You have totally lost control of this radio.
That's kind of good, Jack.
Now wait a minute, let's back up 1 second. When I said something to you today, I can't make it. What do you mean you can't make it? I even put your mugshot on my webpage. Sorry, tell me where it is, how to get there. Okay, we got to talk about the Centennial Tour. I said, what the hell have you got to do with that? What do you have to do with it?
So a guy named Joe Peterson, he's a photographer, guy that you may have seen on the track. He came to me on the phone. I met Joe through Family Life, it's a Christian organization. And Joe says, we want to go. True! We want to take drivers. Joe knew not a single driver. We show up in Toronto. We introduce them to Larry Foy, Curly over here, Al Unser, Johnny Rutherford, every one of them, and say, hey, we're all going to go on a fun party. Here we are, Jack. You know, so basically that's what we've done. And I hope I'm not in trouble. Poor Jack. It's the truth.
Your nose is cold.
That's the truth. That's how it all happened.
Are you going with?
Yeah, I'm going to get to go. I don't really, I'm on the executive committee. I work with the USO as well. And so yeah, we're going. We're going to have a lot of fun. Yeah, yes, with the USO. What they do for families of soldiers, give it up, man. I'm telling you right now, it's the most amazing 400 employees, 20,000 volunteers, and Jack's making fun of me. I'm